there, and welcome to Nicole's Creative Adventures. This is episode number 9. My name is Nicole, and I'm your host for this podcast. This is Jack. He's my co-host. Um, I know. For those of you that have loved my cat make an appearance on this podcast, this is for you. Because I was tempted to shut the door, not let him come in, because he is a little bit of a distraction. But anyways, this is a podcast about knitting, spinning, quilting, sewing, and other things crafty. And if this is your first time watching my podcast, welcome. Thanks for checking this out. Hope you enjoy it. And for those of you returning, what's up? I'm just kidding. No, I'm not kidding, actually. I mean, what's up? But the way I said that, just kidding. Anyways, it's Friday. I'm tired. I'm drinking coffee. Things are gonna come out of my mouth. Who knows? Okay, sit down. Thank you. Okay. Do you want to say hi? Jack, do you want to say hi? No, you just want to purr and lay right on me. He can't lay on my lap because I'm short. And my chair is high, and so then my legs are at like a nice angle, and if he tried to lay on my lap, he'd slide right off. So he's laying on the desk. Okay. Anyways, for those of you that love my cat being involved with my podcast, this is for you. For those of you that know I get distracted with my cat, I'm sorry. Let's move along. You can find me on Ravelry as Eat Mo Poi. You can find me on Instagram as Baker Vieira, and you can also follow me on my blog, Nicole'sCreativeAdventures.blogspot.com. I also have a Ravelry group called Nicole's Creative Adventure Podcast. I'd love for you to join that. If you join that group, you can be involved with any knit-alongs or quilt-alongs we do. I know, it's Ravelry, so it's fiber-based, but would it be wrong if I had a quilt-along in that group? Nope, I don't think so. So, what Jack does. Do you think so, Jack? Jack? Do you think we should have a quilt-along in there? He's looking at me, so that must be yes. So let's move along. Podcast appreciation. So, there are so many podcasts out there. Like, it seems like every day there's new ones, and I feel like I'm so excited to watch all of them, but I don't have that kind of time. I have like a wait list or a watch list in YouTube that is ridiculously long. And I want to be faithful to the podcasts that I know and love. And meanwhile, trying to test out some new podcasts and see if I'm going to subscribe. So, but for a couple that I do subscribe to, one of them that actually, I think I watched this towards the beginning of me, like figuring out there were knitting podcasts on YouTube, it's called Along the Lanes. And, I might have typed this wrong, but I think her name is Vera or Vero, because it could be a typo. She's the podcaster, and she lives in the UK, and she lives near Cambridge. And I like her podcast. She does a lot of cool video editing, and she has some cool interviews. Like there was one I really enjoyed where she interviewed Stephen West. And the other thing is lately she's been throwing in like her cooking, like some of the recipes that she likes to do, and she'll weave that in with some knitting projects and other things. Like, and she's pretty cool. I like watching hers because I feel like if I watch hers while I'm making dinner, then we're like making dinner together, although I'm making something usually different than her, but she's cool. So if you haven't checked out the Along the Lanes podcast, I would encourage you to do so. Somebody's very happy right now. How come you don't do this to me? Huh? Yeah, I know. And the other one I just recently started watching. Oh my gosh. I've heard a few people mention this podcast, and so one day I just said, I have to go figure out what that one is. It's the Bakery Bears podcast with the husband and wife team, Kay and Dan. And Not too sure where they live, but it's definitely, I think it's in the UK, somewhere around there. Should have checked that out before I even said this. But holy moly, they're hilarious. Or at least like Kay is so like smart and reserved, and she's like the super awesome knitter. And then her husband Dan, who I think has a pretty awesome story, survived cancer and things like that. Used to be a teacher, or maybe he still is a teacher. I'm not too sure. But he's referenced being a music teacher and things in the past. He's funny, he's silly, but funny. And so I don't know. I've always kind of been into that whole like English British humor, um, and I love their accents. And the other cool thing about this podcast is they do like these knitting game show things, and then on the other extreme, you can't see my hand. On the other extreme, right? Knitting game shows. Other extreme, they do history lessons. They will take you on tours of some of the most beautiful areas around them, ruins, that kind of stuff. And so you'll get some history and you'll get a game show. In the middle, they're talking about the projects they're working on and knitting. And check it out. Dan's funny. He always asks his wife like this silly questions, but like that are like super basic beginner questions. And so she'll look at him like, you know the answer to this, but he does it just to spite her. And also, he's representing any newbie knitters. So he's kind of the newer knitter out of the two of them. So, which would make sense. Anyways, check that out. I've got that link on my show notes if you are having a hard time finding that one. And recently I was part of, so for those of you that celebrated Valentine's Day, awesome. My husband and I were kind of lazy. We're like, can we take a rain check? So we like just had pizza and chilled out. And we didn't really consider that our date night. But we weren't really, I don't know, we just felt like, I don't want to go out and about, you know, amongst the crowds and stuff like that. So we kind of just chillaxed. We were together. We said we love you very much. We got each other cards. That was about it. But I also was part of a Valentine's Day, hello, swap with other podcasters. And I was paired up with Diane from the Suburban Stitcher podcast. And she got me some really cool stuff. So let me show you what she gave me. So I love her tags. She said she gave me all of her favorite teas, or at least a bunch of them. I haven't even opened this yet. I've been like staring at it, but I wanted to show you guys. What? Does this smell good? No, you can't bite the little. So anyway, she's got this thing that says, oops, it's upside down. Drink me, little Alice in Wonderland theme here. Quite a few teas in there. Of course, chocolate. Eat me. And I sent her a bunch of dark chocolate raspberry filled like truffles thingies. And it looks like she gave me something similar. This one right here is Godiva's raspberry chocolate. Please lay down. Please lay down or sit. Just don't be in my way, okay? She knitted me. So this is my first gifted hand knit item. Butt down, please. Thank you. Okay. She knit me this cute little heart. And I love the colors. And I've been using it to store my my darning needle. Because it just gets lost. I love it. It's pretty. Sit. Are you gonna... Ugh. And then she gave me a few mini skeins. So this one here is Pandia's Jewels Black Accent. Ugh. Hey, okay. Are you gonna listen? You can't keep throwing your butt up in my face, and nobody wants to see that. Lay down. Thank you. Then he just knocks off with his tail my last mini skein. That was mean. He does this. Okay, people that have cats. Does your cat just decide to go, what's that? Click. Throw it off your desk, your table? Yeah, I'm talking about you. Jack does that all the time. It's like, I don't think you're paying attention to me. Oh, what's that, a pen? Boop, off your desk. Okay, sit. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the friends on the podcast. Okay, this is Kirby Werby yarn. The color is Sassy. It is Sassy. This color is pretty neon. It's getting a little blown out, but it's neon. I like it. Sit. Okay, next one is Mustache Yarns, which I've always wanted to try mustache yarns. So here's my opportunity. Dark Side of the Moon, a little Pink Floyd thing going on there to show my husband. He might like that. Okay, seriously, Jack? Do you want to go out of this room and get locked out? Yep, I think he does. It's gonna get on, my what list. Okay, so she gave me some mini skeins, she gave me chocolate, she gave me tea, and she knit me a heart. So thank you, Diane. I love that, especially the heart. I love the mini skeins more when I go and knit them, but right now they're gorgeous, and they're gonna sit in my new very small mini skein holder. I'm not gonna get very many mini skeins in that, but right now it's kind of showing them off. They're pretty. All right, moving along. Shout outs. So if you join my Ravelry podcast group, there's an introduce yourself thread. And I'd love for anyone that joins that group to introduce yourselves, because then you get a shout out on my show. And I learn a little bit more about who's watching my podcasts and who's hanging out with me. So my most recent was Just Chill 922. That's Cheryl, and Cheryl's from Chicago. And she's a self-taught knitter and currently in a crazy sock fiend knitting phase, like a lot of us, including myself. She has a kitty named Charlie, and she said she was cracking up watching my last podcast because her and I both talk to our kitties the same way, which is like this weird love-hate relationship, right? I love you very much, but I hate it when you misbehave. Anyway, so what's up, Cheryl? And thanks for joining the podcast. She also has this cute, she has lots of cute little nicknames for her hubby. The Hubster, Hubba, Wubba, I don't know. Cute names. Hey, guess what? I'm going to Stitches West tomorrow. Yay me! My first time, what? Yep, 2 hands, not touching you at all right now. It's amazing. Looking forward to it. I was going to go by myself, just drive. It's not too far, probably like a 45-minute drive. And then I found out my local yarn shop, Knit This Purl That, is having like this Stitches West caravan thing going on. So they rented a charter bus, and they're having a champagne brunch at the store, and then they're gonna drive there, and then we're gonna shop, and then there's lunch included, and then we shop, and then they drive you back. And I thought I could be knitting while we are on the bus, so I'm gonna join that. I'm looking forward to it. I think I might know 1 or 2 people that are going, at least the people that I know that work there, and I have a friend, Donna, who knits. I'm assuming she's going to be part of that. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to meeting some new knitting people. Knitters. So guess what knitters mean? It means knitting people. So I had to break it down, just in case there's anybody out there who didn't know what that meant. Yeah, right. You wouldn't be watching this if you didn't know. So anyways, my husband's been sick with a cold. Did you hear that cough? I hope I'm not. I hope I can kick it, because I have lots of plans to walk around and do stuff tomorrow. So I feel great. So maybe it's just allergies or something like that. But anyways, so I'm excited. I kind of have I went and picked up some cash so that I could shop. And then I've been kind of guesstimating what I would want to purchase. So I do need another pair of small sock blockers, and I don't have any medium size, and as if I want to make socks for those other people that I love, they all don't have small feet like I do. I have a large for my husband, so I want to pick up a medium sock blocker as well. I wanted to get 4 skeins of like a light sport or a heavy fingering variegated for the vitamin D sweater. I have that in my library, and I think that would be a good sweater to work on next instead of this other one I was going to work on, because the vitamin D sweater is pretty lightweight, and it's open, and it has this nice little draping in the front. So I think it would be great for spring. Sit down, unless you want to say hi. No, hi's over here. No, he wants to lay down. He's shy. Not. So I'm gonna look for that. Hopefully, would like to get a good deal on those 4 skeins. And when I mean variegated, I mean just kind of tonal variegated. Probably not multicolored. Too many you know what I mean? Variegated. Tonal. Does that make sense to you? Am I even making any sense? I don't dye yarn, so, you know, if I had to pick a color like blue, it'd be like dark blue, medium blue, into a light blue. You know, we're variegated. Tonal. I'm not making any sense. I hope you're laughing at me, because I'm laughing at myself. So then I want to get some fiber, because I got a new wheel. Maybe a loop bump. I know you can get those on Etsy, but maybe they'll be, I don't know. So I'm thinking I'm going to get at least 1 thing of fiber, maybe 2. And I'd like to get a couple sock yarn skeins. And I'll show you a picture. Actually, I'll probably put it in right about here. I recently brought some of my yarn. Where I was storing my yarn was basically like in this chest of drawers unit, and it was hidden, and it wasn't pretty to me because I couldn't see it. So I reorganized some of my fabric, and I put some yarn for me to see. And most of the yarn I have out is like fingering weight, sport weight, and DK weight. The thicker yarns, or even like the super thinner yarns, like maybe some what is it called? Baby silk or whatever. Some of that stuff that you would add to another yarn when you knit it is still in the drawers. But I did manage to get my whole entire yarn stash on Ravelry, which was an accomplishment. So I'm happy about that. But anyways, now when I look at my color fabric stash and everything, I see yarn. And then I created a little spot on this little table over here. You can't see it, but it's this really cool, like really wide wicker basket that's kind of not square, and it doesn't come up too high. And that's where my fiber, I'm rubbing his belly right now. He's in a trance. So funny. If he finds out I'm talking about him, they'll get all upset. And he'll get shy, and then he'll go take it out on the other cat, because he's embarrassed, but he doesn't know right now that I'm talking to other people about him. Oh, what? Oh, okay. See? Distracted. Yeah, so, and that's kind of my goal, though, you know, I don't want to go crazy. I have a budget, and I need to stay within my budget, because, well, it's not even my birthday month. And I have a lot to show you in staff advancement. Like, I don't know, I kind of went off on a tangent a little bit. Like a couple things I ordered back. One of the things I ordered was in the beginning of January, but they hand dye to order, and it's always at least a month out. But The rest of this stuff, it's either part of like a yarn club I'm part of, or I bought it. So let's move along. Enough about me and Stitches West. My next podcast will be about that. I hopefully get some pictures of some cool things I've seen, and then also share what I get. We have a cow going on in my Ravelry group. It's the Adama cow, or Adama cow, probably Adama. And I'll pop in a picture here. And we started that one Sunday, February 8th, so you still have plenty of time. It's going to go to March 8th, which is a month. It's a quick knit, so quick, and I didn't get a chance to pull her name up, but one of the ladies in that cowl did it in one day. She's like, it was so mesmerizing, so easy to do. And so if you think you don't have time to knit this cowl, or this cowl, for this cowl, you do. You have time. Trust me. I've only spent probably about an hour on it max. I know I've been kind of spending my time in other places, but because I know this is a quick knit, I'm not too worried about it. So I started this, I cast it on February 8th, and I worked about an hour on it, and I've got this so far. And I also was watching something that was pulling my attention, so I didn't get as much done as I wanted, but I love this yarn. This is a work in progress. I'll talk about it a little bit later. No, let's just talk about it now. Because I just looked, works in progress is next. Anyways, I did want to say though that if you join the cow, everyone that finishes gets put in for a prize, and the prize would be, I'll make you a custom medium-sized bag. I'm going to give you tons of choices to choose from in all of my fabric stash. You get to choose the liner, whether you want a solid front or if you want a 2 fabric front, and you also get to choose the color of the zipper. So basically you get to pick out of a bunch of fabric what you want, and we'll work with it. I'll work with you, we'll custom make it. Okay, so yes, this is the Adama cowl, and oh, it's by Hillary Smith Callis, and it's awesome. This is the second time I've made this, and with the same exact yarn. And for those of you that missed, what happened was that my Aunt Diane loved it so much that on her 60th birthday, I just said, she tried it on, she was loving it, and I'm like, oh, okay, there you go. Happy birthday! So she's the happy owner of my first one. I happen to have 2 skeins of this. This is Jinx yarn in her in her worsted base, and the color is Goth Girl. So you'll see this like awesome purple. It's coming up pretty true to color with these red and black flecks in it. Here is the skein. Love, or the ball, or cake. Cake. It's a cake. I'm using my new Cubics Knitter's Pride interchangeables. This is US 9. And I like them. You know what? I can't even tell they're not, like, while I'm knitting with these, it could be the way that I knit, but I don't even really, I can't tell that they're not round. They're not round. They just feel like good needles. So I've been enjoying that, and that's in my bag that I made. One of my first project bag. Look at this cute orange. It doesn't match. I know it doesn't match. I need to make a purple bag. It's in my to-do later area. Yes. What? Works in progress. Sweater. I have more progress on my sweater. The last time I showed my sweater, I can't reach it, but anyways, the back was finished, one panel finished. Well, I finished the second panel, so all 3 large pieces are done. I've now cast on my first sleeve. And you're gonna do it, and then we're gonna seam. This sweater is all going to be seamed because I wanted to learn how to seam. I could have cheated, probably should have, and started with like a top-down sweater, but I didn't. I had to try something harder. This sweater is a cardigan. I'm going to do three three-quarters sleeves. This is Universal Yarn Deluxe, worsted and plum dandy. I got 6 skeins. It's 100% wool. Knitter's Pride Dreams Interchangeables. I already talked about that. It's purple. Kind of have a purple finish. The thing is, though, that's really warm yarn. So I'm not sure if I'm going to wear that very much by the time I finish it. Because last week it was pretty much 70 degrees most of the week. Today it's a little cooler this week, but it's supposed to get back up to 75 again next week. So for those of you that are new, I'm in Livermore, California. So I'm loving the pretty skies and all the sun, and it's nice. And everything's green because it rained quite a bit this year, better than it's rained in the last, I think, 3 years. But we still need way more rain because we're still in a drought. And so I'm kind of a fan of just letting summer not come for a long time. I love summer, but I really, really, really like rain because we need it. Let's move on. I've been working on my Dreamcatcher quilt. Let's see if I can do this here. It's over. Okay, nope. This is awesome. It's over there. It's under my sewing machine. I'm about halfway done on the quilting. I'm not going to pull it out and show you because the needle's down and it's in the middle of something. So it's easy for me to just pick it back up and start from where I left off. So I swear I'm going to get that done. Taking forever. I have to say that my quilting has kind of taken a back seat lately between knitting and then now the spinning. So, but I did work on it yesterday. So, and that Dreamcatcher quilt is by Sherry McConnell. Fabric is by Art Gallery Fabric. Tulle is the name of the fabric line. Yeah. And it's by Leah Duncan. All right. I cast it on okay, so I have the cowl, I have my sweater, and then so I tend to try to only have 3 projects going. I always have a pair of socks going, and then I try to have it like 1 garment and 1 accessory, like socks are accessory too, I guess. But so I cast it on some new socks because I have a finished object and it's socks. This is going to be my March themed inspired. So you'll see my finished object socks. They're pink, a lot of pink, because they were representing Valentine's Day kind of February. So for my next socks, which, you know, who knows if I'll finish this month, but at least they'll be ready for March. I needed to have green in them. I'm actually like 50% Irish. My mom has blonde hair and blue eyes. The other side of me is Hawaiian, and I think from what I can tell, I was told by my grandmother that her father was also Navajo Indian and Spanish. So, but mostly Hawaiian. Both of my grandparents on my dad's side were Hawaiian. And then both of my mom's parents were like full-blooded Irish. Kane and Gallagher. So, super, super Irish. I don't look like that. I came from that side, but I did. So these are my new socks, and you'll see okay, I'll get you to focus. It's a gray base with some greens and some teals and blacks. I love it. This yarn is from Lambie Toes, and it's her Moon Pie Merino, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and the color is Changeling. 463 yards, 100 grams. Lambie Toes. Hello, kitten. Here is the cake. I like it. I like it a lot. So it's got some really like vibrant greens, some darker greens, and that awesome teal and black and gray. And actually there's some specks of some red or orangey red. I don't know what color that is. The lighting, and so the lighting looks pretty good on your end, but in my end it's kind of dark in here. the sun has been covered over by clouds. And that project is in my latest bag, which I'm calling my Natural Animal Forest baggie. It's got deers and owls and bears, very foresty, and raccoons, with some linen, with a gray linen bottom, and this really cool inside fabric. So to me, it goes really well. I did manage to match that sucker. And I've just finished the ribbing on my first sock. I used 1.5 US double pointed needles. I'm a double pointed needle girl. And then I've just went to a smaller size, US 1, for the stockinette stitch. This is just going to be my plain vanilla socks. I wanted to do a pattern sock, but I wasn't going to do, I don't know if I was going to do it with this yarn, but I'm going to be in a bus tomorrow, and I'm going to be meeting new people, and so I don't want to be antisocial while I knit, and so I need something, as I've been hearing a lot, potato chippy, no brainer, like just knit and you don't even need to look and pay attention. So hence that project. So those are my works in progress. Finished objects. I finished my socks. I finished my socks. Just kidding. Sorry. Hey, lay down. He has this thing where I lay on this side. Not getting as much attention. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to lay on that side. That hand seems to be busy too. So, back and forth. But anyways, my Pandora socks. It's Volenvine Yarns on her Blitz base, Pandora colorway. And because there's no sun, you can't see the sparkle, but in the light, they're pretty. And possibly the highest cuff I've made. I think it's only like 1/4 of an inch higher than. I tend to like short socks. I'm not a big fan of them going up my leg. So I thought I'd stretch out a little bit. Now, longest cuff socks I've ever made, and I have tons of yarn. I almost have a half a skein. I think it's just under a half a skein of this. This is the caked up yarn. So I'm kind of thinking I could probably make another pair of shorties. Or I can just make a bunch of mini skeins out of this, and I haven't decided. But I enjoyed that. That was just a vanilla sock recipe, super easy. I have to say though that yarn is super soft. I like it. I like it a lot. Right, Jack? We love it. In fact, we love it so much that you laid on them while they were drying. Mommy should have hung them up, and that's why we put them on the other sock blockers. Because you weren't helping the drying process. Nope, you were not. Okay. Stash advancement. It's quite a bit. Okay, here we go. Lay down, please. Thank you. So I got my monthly subscription. I guess it's called a subscription. From the Fiberista Monthly Sock Club. And this is cool. This is Wonderland Yarns in the Cheshire Cat base. And the color is Roscoe Village. Okay, so look at that. It is multiple. How many grams are each one of these? Let me show you that again. Obviously, I just took that back. Lay down, please. 5 skeins. Each skein is 128 yards. So it's 640 yards. All right. So they're, isn't that beautiful? Pretty. Look at that color right there. Love that color. That is possibly a perfect purple for me in that favorite realm. Then this awesome maroon. Lay down. Lay down. You're getting in trouble pretty soon. You want to go outside? All right, I'm going to pause for a moment and put Jack out of the room because he's kind of getting in my way. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry if you start hearing him talk outside the door, but okay, so we were leaving off on this pretty maroon. Then there's this pinker color. Oh, that's not true to color. Well, you can tell when I put it there next to it. Let me get all my fingers. Better. And then this cool brown. So all together, very, very soft. Sorry for the noise. It's 100% superwash merino, but it's really soft. The gauge, 28 to 30 stitches, 4 inches. Recommends 1 through 3 needle size US. Dyed and spun in the US by Fabulous Fibers. So I don't know, what should I do with this? Any ideas? Love to hear what you would think I should do with this. Sorry, I'm just staring at these colors. They're so pretty. So, without making too much noise, that's that. Next. So, I was watching a podcast. Oh my gosh. And I am notorious for saying, hey, I got inspired by this or that, and then I never know exactly what it was. I was watching a podcast, I can't remember what, but the girl mentioned, the host, she got some new yarn, and the color was inspired by the new Star Wars. Rey is the name of it, which is the main character, the new main character, the new hero, the girl. Yay, love Star Wars. So I had to get some just because, and I thought it was beautiful. So this is Madeline Tosh Mo Light, which I've never tried their Mo Light. It's 80% superwash merino wool, 20% kid mohair. It's fingering, 420 yards, and it's very pretty, very neutrals, and it's got. So you know what? I just realized something. Not totally the same colors, but similar. I'm gonna say like this is the gray base for my sock yarn, but some of the teals and the greens actually are showing up very similar in this. But this is a cream or a natural undyed speckled yarn. It's probably naturally undyed and then hand speckled or well, anyways, I like it, and it's got quite a bit of a haze to it. I was thinking a couple people were gonna knit socks out of it. I'm not too sure. Probably a cute little shawlette. So that's that. Now, while I was online buying that, I tried to get it from some local stores. Nobody was carrying it. I went to a couple of my local yarn shops. They didn't have it in. It's a brand new color. But then when I went on Madeline Tosh's website, I saw it there. And you know what? It wasn't. Their yarn isn't very expensive. I've never purchased right off of Madeline Tosh's website, so I was pretty impressed by that. And then I saw this other new color called Sweet and Sour. But this is in their DK twist. It's 100% superwash merino wool, 250 yards, and it is, yeah, that's pretty good, true to color. I like that. I think this will be a cool summer color. Now, granted, it's DK, so I don't know. It'd probably be a good hat. But I think the color looks good with my skin tone. I probably should have bought two, but I didn't. I could always get another one and then alternate. But I don't know. I just thought it was a really cool color. So those came, and they came fast. Like I ordered on a Saturday, and I think they were delivered on Monday or Tuesday. I was pretty impressed. All right, so I've got my first order from a Homespun House, which is Molly from Homespun House podcast. I love Molly's podcast. She's awesome. She's adorable too. Super cute. So one of her popular colors is birthday cake, and I got it on her Dale fingering, which is 100% micron merino, 438 yards. Birthday cake. Why did I buy this? I thought about knitting, copying other people. because I think it's brilliant and awesome. There's this hat for little kids. It's like a gnome hat. I gotta figure what it's called. I don't know. Shoot. Hold on one second. Because I'm tired of not having the real answers. But I believe Melissa from the Spicy Homemaker podcast just made this for her daughter. Super adorable. If it's not Melissa, it's... This is what happens when you work full time and your brain hurts all the time because you want to fill every waking moment full of other things like crafting. You can't quite keep everything in your brain like you want to. All right. Let me go to my library. I'm so sorry that I'm doing this with you on this. I could take a break right now, but then it would be great. Oh, yeah. So the collared pixie, and I'll put a picture in here. Totally adorable. I probably won't go all the way down collared. I'll probably just do the shorter neck one, but I'm thinking there are way too many people that I know right now that are pregnant. It's almost overwhelming. I think I know probably 12 to 15 people right now that are pregnant, and they're all around the same. Like, I had a friend that just had her little baby boy not too, like, Tuesday, had a long labor. But there's all these people this summer are going to be having babies, and so I don't think that I'm going to have a problem making this and giving this away. Now, granted, it should go to a girl, so if they're having a girl, which for some reason is not very common right now, all of my friends from the last year and some of them coming up are all having boys. And boys are harder to quilt for, and boys are harder to knit for. And maybe not harder to knit for, but if you're a girl knitter and you like pretty yarn, like girly yarn, it's hard to knit for a boy when you don't have a stash full of boy colors. So, anyways, I'm looking forward to making that. It looks like a super easy knit, and it's super adorable. The other yarn I got from her was a stretch for me. Super stretch. I think the color didn't turn out exactly like I thought it was going to be. When you buy stuff online, it's really hard to identify exactly the color that you're looking for. But I bought same base, Dale fingering, 100% micron merino, 438 yards. But the color is called Moss. And it's a little more greener than that. It's not coming out. Let me turn on this light real quick. Probably blowing my face out a little bit, but that's a little better, I think. So it's actually greener than it's showing up on Is that blowing me out too much? I'm going to pause real quick. Okay. So I just turned my overhead light on because this other light was not working for me. So it's a little greener. There, that's more the green it is. So it's pretty. It's not the green I thought it was. Nonetheless, I was thinking maybe it would be like California moss. It's more like German moss because it comes from Germany. But actually it's really pretty. And so one thing I noticed as I put my yarn stash together, I have a problem with representing all the colors on the color wheel. I am heavy orange, red, purple, grays, and really light on the whole rest of the color wheel, like blue, green, greens, yellows. They're out the door. So, and blues. So here's a green. Okay. See, there's so much yarn, I'm having a hard time. Okay. So I'm a huge fan of Wool and Vine yarns, if you haven't noticed. Love me some Wool and Vine yarns. And this is her prickly pear color. And I just saw this and I had to get my fix, my Pink Girl fix. It's her Narwhal base, which I have not tried before. 70% superwash Blueface Leicester. 20% silk and 10% cashmere. It's a 3-ply fingering, 438 yards. So I just think that's really pretty. Not sure what I'm going to do with it. And the lighting is interesting right now, but you get the gist of that one. That's beautiful. So this is one of the yarns that I ordered like towards the beginning of January. And again, slightly off the blue than I thought it was, the color. But you know what? Actually, it's very pretty. So it's good for me. This is my third purchase from this company. Toil and Trouble, bookishly inspired, is their, this is their, boom, hand-dyed yarn from Salem, Massachusetts. They're not witches, I don't think. Sorry. Hello. Come on, camera. Thank you. This is the Cadence base, and the color is Zenith. 100% superwash merino, 218 yards. It's worsted. So I got 2 skeins of this baby. They're never going to be perfect, so I'm going to have to alternate on whatever I do with this, but it's this. You get the lighting, get out of there. That's pretty good color. Maybe a little darker than that. Yeah, when you put it against me, you can see the darkness in it. So, blue, right? I don't have a lot of blue. What am I going to do with this? Not totally sure. Uh-oh, Jack's outside the door. Can you hear him? No, Bubba, I'm sorry. You were a bad boy. Mom? 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 Okay. And then the last one I ordered, I just saw this on Instagram. It's I don't know if you, I can't open the door right now, baby. I'm sorry. My first self-striping yarn. Officially. I mean, I've had Arnie and Carlos. I guess you would consider that kind of self-striping, but it's a pattern. So this is full on just solid self-striping. And it's Coloring Book Yarns. Fingering weight sock base, 400 yards. And the color is Sweet Tooth. Okay, look how cute that is. So that light, no, hold on. It's kind of hard to see, but there's this mint green in it that's not coming out very well. I'm sorry. Anyways, pinks, yellows, like a mint green, like mint chip ice cream green. Sweet Tooth. That's probably what, I figured it out. Reds, yellows, I said that already, didn't I? Anyways, it's going to be cute. She was knitting it up. The dyer was knitting this up in the Instagram photo, and I was like, what? That is super cute. So I went on there real quick, and I got one. And I felt really bad because I was like, yeah, I got a skein on her Instagram. And then someone's like, where did you find it? I can't find it. I might have bought the last skein. So I was like, sorry. But I'm kind of happy I got one. Okay. So I have a friend who is a viewer. That's how we met. She watched my podcast. She reached out, said hi, joined my group. And she's awesome. Her name's Carrie. And she's also a knitter and spinner, and she's starting to quilt. So I share some of my ideas on that, and she's been kind of helping me with some spinning stuff and that kind of thing. She also has the same wheel I have. She's part of why I bought that wheel, because she sent me to some forums and information on it, and everybody's just ecstatic about it. So I felt really comfortable getting it, and I love it. I love my new wheel. I should probably talk about that for a minute, because I just realized I didn't put that section in my notes. So I got my new Bliss, which is by Woolmakers, and I'll put a photo in here. And So I got it on Saturday last weekend. My husband later that evening, or early, well, actually it was afternoon, he put it together for me because I trust him more than me. I'm pretty mechanic, but he's way more mechanic than me. Plus, I was working on other things, so it was nice. And then I started spinning. I kind of watched a couple videos on like a good basic starting point, and that would be the short forward draft. So I started with that, and this was my first attempt at the wheel, and I think I was using this undyed yarn. I believe it's from New Zealand. Not yarn, fiber. I don't think it's Cornwall, but it's something. And so this was my first bobbin, and you can tell it's super sporadic. My challenge is to figure, I always have it on the biggest tension because I know that I'm not ready for the smaller tensions. Not tensions, I mean ratio, the largest ratio. My wheel comes with 3 ratios, and then I've been having it on pretty light tension so that it's not pulling my yarn in too fast. So it gives me time, but at one point I'm actually treadling pretty fast. So I've had to bring in the tension a little bit to keep up with, because I guess in my research, people have a hard time coordinating their feet speed with their hand speed, and that's not my issue. I think from me being a dancer and from playing drums and just musically inclined, like rhythm is natural for me. So I think it'll be more of an issue when I've been kind of practicing speeding my hands up while keeping tempo on my treadle, just so that I can get used to doing other things. So I'm testing out myself to actually do the opposite, because I learned that's important later. Plus, for fixing mistakes, if your fiber is getting thin, if you can move your hands faster to help get more yarn, thicken it up before it gets into the twist, that would be good. So first attempt, not too bad. Does not look as nasty as my first drop spindle attempt. That was pretty ugly. Like, that one went in the garbage. Then the next attempt, and this is a combination, because I'm just practicing on this. I'll probably practice ply with these two, even though they don't look good together. I haven't plied yet. But my next attempt was to continue in the short forward draw, and then I tested out the short backwards draw, and I didn't really care for that. And then I also tried to spin from the fold. I like spinning from the fold. I don't know if I was using the right fiber for that, but between short forward draft and spinning from the fold, this is the latest one that I've been working on. Yeah, a couple boo-boos in here, but so as you can see, they're getting a little bit more consistent. Hello, lighting. There we go. So this is looking a lot better, and I think I'm starting to figure out the twist a little better. This fiber is Knit Picks. Roving Wool of the Andes, and this color is, I think, Tide Pool. So I'm gonna, even though they're not, I don't know how well this is gonna turn out. I might do another. I have like 3 bats of this, one in different colors. This is not all of the blue either. I have probably half a bat left. So maybe I'll put the other half on the spindle and then I'll apply these. But hey, I'm spinning. I have pretty fiber to spin, but I'm not touching that until I feel real comfortable. And then I know that when I apply my yarn, it's actually usable. But anyways, Carrie and I have like every other night online knit night, which is really cool. I have this tool called Zoom, and we can just knit and chat. It's like basically online. And it's a lot of fun. But she sent me a gift. or multiple gifts. She's like, hey, can I have your address? I think I might have something you might like. Okay. Did not expect this. So she started dyeing her own yarn. So first one, this is 50% silk, 50% superwash merino, 231 yards, hand dyed iris mixed purples. Love Carrie. Oh, there's a little white tag thing from what it was hanging on, so just ignore there it is. So she knit that. I mean, she didn't knit that. She dyed that. It's coming out a little bit more blue. It's more purple. It's my lighting. It sucks. But it's really soft and really beautiful. I like it. Of course, it's purple. She knows me. This one is she purchased the Hue Loco tweed undyed, and then she dyed it herself. 438 yards, superwash BFL, 100 yards, or 100 grams. And that looks pretty good, but it's a little bit more purple than blue. But isn't that pretty? Oh, she's so cool. Then she sent me this whole little bundle of mini skeins. Like, they're super cute. And I'm not sure. There's no label on them, so I'm thinking these are the ones. She said she was practice dyeing on smaller, probably mini skeins. So, I mean, like, this one is so pretty. Okay. Camera is mad at me. So yeah, she sent me 2 skeins of yarn. She sent me the mini skeins. And then she sent me a bat. Sorry for the noise. That she has a drum carder by Wool Makers, which is the same people that make our wheel. So the fiber content is superwash merino, alpaca, 5-star, Tusa silk, and sari silk. Yeah. So this is really, really, really pretty bat. Of lots of, it's more pink than purple. Isn't it so funny how, see the pinks that are showing up? There's a lot of that. So it's got a lot of sheen to it. You really can't see it. So this, who knows what this is going to turn out like. I'm excited. So she's just playing with stuff. And she sent me some goodies that I could try. And there's so much variety in this bat. Super excited to see how I can spend that. All right, well, if that wasn't enough stuff, I'm done. So much stuff. I had, okay, so I did say that I updated my whole Ravelry stash, right? Except for the stuff I just mentioned today. So I have to go and put all that in there. But other than that, I've kind of covered everything that I needed to talk about. I'm trying to think if there was anything I needed to talk about. And my aunt called me last night because she started watching my podcast. They're in Hawaii. They moved there from over here in California. Their daughters, all 3 of their daughters have gone through college over there. So one of them, she's a freshman right now. But anyways, it was just cute. She's like, I saw your podcast and I had to call you, and it was good to catch up with them and hear from them. But and then there's a guy I work with. I might have said this story already, but his wife will know who I'm talking about. So there's a guy I work with, and one day I had a meeting with him, and he was like, okay, well, I want to let you know that I really like you and appreciate who you are, and I love you in your new role, and da-da-da-da. But I do have to bone pick with you. He's like, my wife loves your podcast. And she thinks that I want to watch it too because I know you. And I started laughing because I was like, that's so sweet that you support your wife. And he's like, no, it's not just my wife. My daughters are watching it. Now they're getting all crafty. And And I said, oh, that's so cool that you're supporting them in the crafts. And he's like, I don't want to support them in their crafts. I'm like, you don't have to watch my podcast. You don't. I'm giving you permission not to watch it. Total guy. Like, he totally doesn't get the whole why we need to be creative and do things. But I love that his wife is, apparently she's getting inspired by things, and then her daughters are doing things. And so, hey, I'm all for that. I'm all for inspiring people or giving them ideas or getting them excited, because that's what happened when I started watching podcasts. That totally threw me back into the world of knitting that I had kind of dabbled in. Now I'm like a full-on crazy knitter. Hey, I'm going to Stitches West tomorrow. So on a bus with a bunch of knitters. I must be into the knitting thing. Sorry, my hubby must have been calling me. I felt the desk vibrating. The phone's on the desk. Yeah. So anyways, let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out to me. If you like to hear more about something. I didn't talk a lot about quilting in this segment. I will in the future for sure. Just let me know what your questions are. Let me know what you want me to show you. A couple people say, hey, can you do a tutorial? I'd really like to. I just need to purchase, I think I need to get a stand for my iPhone. I use a Logitech web camera for my computer to do what I'm doing right now. But I have an iPhone 6 Plus, so I have the capability of doing video. I just don't have a way to aim it at me or what I'm working on right now. So I'm looking into that. So I'm hoping to do that. And then I'll probably do some tutorials. I know some people wanted to see me do some quilting tutorials. People want to see how I knit. I guess I could just knit, but up close. Even Carrie, when we were doing a knit night, she was like, you have an interesting way of knitting. She thinks that I knit similar to Danny from Little Bobbins podcast. So I'll have to check it out and see if I can see an episode where she's knitting. To me, it's just what I do. But anyways, that's all I have. You guys have a wonderful weekend. And if everything works out, I'll probably podcast next week, because I'm going to want to show you what I got and tell you about Stitches West. All right? Everybody have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.